strange women. He started dealing with the nations that the Creator, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, told him not to deal with. Through that sin, he built groves and built cities to Moloch, which is another god, Satan. Egyptians took him off, Edomite women took him off, and he ended up sacrificing to the gods that the Most High God told him not to sacrifice to. Through his sin, the kingdom was split in two. Split in two. Northern kingdom, southern kingdom. The southern kingdom, you had Judah. We're going to go into who Judah is and the tribes that were under Judah. The northern kingdom, which is part of Samaria, you had the Indian tribes, or the lighter tribes. And we're going to go into who they are today and how they got to the land. Now, through this sin, Israel became scattered throughout the earth. That was the beginning of the diaspora. And when they scattered throughout the earth, they had children. And through time, their children lost their identity. All right? Let's go to Deuteronomy, the 32nd chapter, and the 21st verse. Deuteronomy 32 and 21.
They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God.
Why did they become lost? Why did they fall? Because Israel moved God to jealousy, the same God that saved them from the tyranny and hands of the Pharaoh. So Israel started moving God to jealousy with those things which are not God. Started following, if you put it in context today, started following other religions. Read.
They have provoked me to anger with their vanities.
And we provoked, or the Israelites provoked God to anger with their vanities. Started putting up other gods to be him. Forgetting the God that saved them and destroyed the land of Canaan and gave them a promised land. Read on.
And I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people.
And because Israel put up a no God for the Creator, he put over them a no people as his people, or another people, or a foolish nation to get power over the earth instead of his people. Read that again. The last part.
I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people.
So now the lost sheep is jealous because the people that are physically and spiritually not the children of God is ruling everything you see today. And the lost sheep are in a subservient state, and they're jealous. They work hard and try to get to the top, but never could get there because the Lord put them in a certain condition. Now it's time to biblically, through the Bible, identify those lost sheep that are being oppressed by the nations that the Lord put over them. Let's go to Genesis. We're going back to the beginning now. Let's go to Genesis, the 49th chapter. The 49th chapter. We're going back to the beginning now. I want you to hold Genesis 49. Hold that, because we're going to hold this place. Make sure you hold that for us, okay? We're going to start off by showing you how the Indian tribes got over here to the Americas. Then we're going to identify them one at a time, along with the tribes of Judah. Let's go to 2 Kings, the 17th chapter, and the 17th verse. 2 Kings 17 and 17. Okay? Okay. Let's start now. Go ahead.
And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire, and used divination and enchantments, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger.
So now, this is how Israel provoked their God to anger. Started sacrificing their children and turning their children over to new gods. The same way today. We may worship something, and what we do, bring it home and give it to our children. Be it Christianity, Islam, witchcraft, astrology, Hinduism, whatever. Whatever the parents learn, they bring to their children. Read.
Therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel, and removed them out of his sight.
His sight is on his holy land, Israel. Read.
There was none left but the tribe of Judah only.
And when it says there was only one left but the tribe of Judah, he was talking about kingship. Don't forget, the kingdom was split in two. Jeroboam and Rehoboam. Rehoboam was the king over Judah. Jeroboam was the king over the Indian tribes. So the only kingship would be left after that split would be Judah, the same tribe Christ came out of. Read on.
Also Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their God, but walked in the statutes of Israel which they made.
Go ahead.
And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel, and afflicted them, and delivered them into the hand of spoilers.
Delivered them into the hand of spoilers. So you want to know how Israel got so low? He allowed the nations to spoil them and to take their riches, take their power, take their land. Go ahead.
And delivered them into the hands of spoilers until he had cast them out of his sight.
Go ahead.
For he rent Israel from the house of David, and they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king. And Jeroboam drove Israel from following the Lord, and made them sin a great sin.
Go ahead.
For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam which he did. They departed not from them, until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight. As he had said by all his servants the prophets, so was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day.
They was carried out of their own land unto Assyria as of this day. Now you're going to find out that they stayed in that Assyrian captivity for about 3 years. And they took counsel to come over here to the Americas. We're talking about the lost sheep now. How do we know that? In this same Apocrypha, the King James Version, which was taken out of the Holy Bible. The Catholic Church took this out of the Bible. This was actually a part of the original Bible. This is 14 books that the churches are being denied. It shows you exactly how the Northern Kingdom got here to the Americas. Go to 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter, and the 39th verse. And then we're going into Genesis, breaking down in the latter days how to identify the lost tribes. How did they get here to the Americas? And this is about 718 BC. Okay, 721 BC is when the Assyrians came over and took over the northern kingdom, the Assyrians. They stayed in that captivity for about 3 years, to about 718 BC, and they took counsel to come over here to this new world. That's why they call it the New World. Yes, the Indians did not come through the Barren Straits 100 million years ago, or whatever things they're teaching in college, the fallacies and false teachings that you may learn in these colleges. The Bible tells you exactly how the Indian tribes got here. Now, we know that some Asians did come through the Barren Straits, but they were trading with the Indians that were already here. Read 2nd Esdras 13 and 39.
And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him.
Go ahead.
Those are the 10 tribes which